Next up, we have Vanessa, Renee, Mical.
Memories that I know are there. I am trying to remember the t-shirts you wore in the summertime, how you would put them on soaking wet to survive the days with no air conditioning or blessed breezes coming from across the water. I am trying to remember the feel of your cheeks before you shaved them, rubbling the prickly stubble across my face as I collapsed into fits of laughter. I would give anything to remember the sound of your laughter, mixed together with my brother's, as you both would laugh at some comedy special that offended me and Mom in the other room. I don't remember the last words you said to me. I don't remember what the last words you said to me were. In fact, I can only ever remember having a handful of deep conversations with you about anything at all, and I don't remember many more details than 2 words you whispered in my ears as I boarded the bus that would take me far away from home. Survive and persevere. I don't remember what your favorite song was. I'm not even sure that's something I ever knew. I do remember your favorite book, Catch-22, by Joseph Heller, but I don't remember why you said you liked it. Dragonflies and cherry blossoms and thunderstorms remind me of you, but I don't remember why. Sometimes I think it would help me remember if I could hold your things again. Those t-shirts and your reading glasses and your Bibles with notes scribbled furiously in the margins. I cannot remember what your handwriting looked like, but if you thought Mommy's hoarding was bad before, you have no idea how much worse it got after you were gone. I vaguely remember having enough space in the apartment to roller skate from room to room, figure 8s in the living room, Mommy yelling at me to get out of the kitchen with my skates and her tile floor. But now her piles have pushed her to a small corner of the living room, space enough for her bed and television. The bedroom she shared with you and the one I shared with Chris barricaded, filled with things from floor to ceiling, wall to wall. And all of your stuff got sucked into the black hole of the apartment. She couldn't get rid of your stuff, of course, the problem being that she can't get rid of anything anymore, but she could bury you for a second time. Underneath mountains of magazines and empty milk cartons, jars of rubber bands and plastic bottle caps, things that look like garbage to anyone who doesn't know all the plans she has for them in her mind. Burying you underneath these things feels a lot further than 6 feet deep. Maybe if I could have gone through your stuff, smelled your clothes, and thumbed through your notebooks, deciding carefully what to keep and what to let go of, maybe my memories wouldn't have been so desperate to escape me. Maybe it wouldn't be so hard to remember. Thank you all so much. This means a lot to me. This one is called Open Tabs, and I almost forgot that I wrote it, but Thomas reminded me of it 2 weeks ago, so thanks for that. It's called Open Tabs. My phone tells me how many tabs I have open. It's 112. More if you count the open tabs on my iPad. All articles I plan to read and websites I plan to visit, knowledge I must put in my head, and actions I plan to take to demonstrate my value. I tell myself one day I'll get to them. I mustn't close any of the tabs. I'll get to them tomorrow. I'll get to them soon. I wonder if I printed out each page of each article of each of those tabs and piled them high, one on top of the other, I wonder how tall those tabs would climb. I didn't realize how much she and I had in common until I saw that I had more than 112 tabs open. The difference is that my tabs are taking up space on my phone, while hers took up space in our home. Her tabs were magazines and newspapers, some older than I was, boxes of things that anyone else would call garbage, but that she considered plans. Maybe having so many unfinished plans were a trick that made her feel like she could live forever. Things would come into the apartment and never leave. Broken things, refrigerators and toilets that suffered tiny deaths with no hope of resurrection. We learned to live without these things, learned to flush the toilet with a bucket of water from the tub, learned to only store meat and ice cream during the winter when we could keep them in a cooler outside. I learned to wash my hair in the faucet when the shower stopped working. To repair these things meant to welcome someone past the front door, A door that never opened wider than an inch, and only when absolutely necessary, if someone dared to knock. Usually someone from some social service agency who had already knocked a few times before and got wise that we were hiding on the other side of the door. We were surrounded by all of her tabs, all her thoughts, all her plans, until there was no room left for us anymore. Tiny little paths that led us to bedrooms that we couldn't use, stacked as they were to the ceiling by her tabs. She had 4 of everything, buried too deep to find one. This is what we will inherit. This is what she will leave behind. I'm trying not to be like her, but yet I am. An irrational perception of what I can and cannot do, of how much time I have left to do all the things I don't know I can't do yet. When I go to close one of the tabs, I can't. I can't decide if it's sillier to leave them open or to beat myself up about not being able to close them. The end. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Vanessa, Renee,